Dubai is starting to crack, and the truth is, the damage runs far deeper than anyone wants to admit. For years, this city sold a powerful promise, a place where the future was already built, a global refuge, a dream that seemed untouchable. But now, something has changed. Thousands of expats are quietly packing their lives into suitcases. Not for a vacation, not for a temporary move. They are leaving for good. And here's the question no one is asking out loud. Why would people walk away from what was supposed to be paradise? What could push professionals, families, and long-term residents to suddenly decide it's no longer worth staying? Because beneath the skyline and the luxury, something isn't holding together anymore. And if that's true, then this isn't just a slowdown. It might be the beginning of something much bigger. For nearly 2 decades, Dubai built its reputation on one idea: relentless growth. The city expanded at a pace few places in the world could match. From the early 2000s to 2020, its population didn't just grow, it almost tripled. More people arrived every year. More businesses opened. More towers filled the skyline. By 2020, Dubai had reached around 3.6 million residents. And the momentum felt unstoppable. Everything pointed in one direction: up. Opportunities were everywhere. Salaries were attractive. Lifestyle was unmatched in the region. For many, moving to Dubai wasn't just a career decision, it was a life upgrade. But that momentum didn't slow down gradually. It didn't fade over time. It stopped, and it stopped hard. The shift wasn't loud. There was no official announcement, no clear warning. But underneath the surface, the mood changed. What used to feel like rapid expansion started turning into something else: a quiet tension, a sense that things were no longer moving forward. Dubai went from confidence to uncertainty, from growth to something much closer to panic. And this is where things start to get uncomfortable. For the first time in its modern history, Dubai is facing a reversal. Not just slower growth, but actual decline. Net migration has turned negative. That means more people are leaving the city than arriving. And this isn't something Dubai is used to. Outside of the 2008 financial crisis, this simply didn't happen. But now it is. You won't see it clearly in official headlines. You won't hear it openly discussed. Because for a city built on image, this kind of story is dangerous. But the signals are there if you know where to look. Visa cancellations are rising, exit records are increasing, and one of the clearest indicators is happening quietly in the background. International schools are losing students. Families are pulling their children out, not because of short trips, but because they are leaving for good. And when families leave, it tells you something deeper is wrong. This isn't tourism slowing down. This isn't seasonal movement. This is a structural shift. A growing number of residents are reaching the same conclusion. Staying in Dubai no longer makes sense. But here's the problem. The numbers confirm what people are already feeling. Between January and August of 2025 alone, an estimated 180,000 to 220,000 residents left Dubai permanently. These are not tourists. These are not short-term visitors. These are families, professionals, long-term expats who built their lives there. People who once believed in the system and decided to walk away. And the reason is painfully clear. The cost of living has surged far beyond what most people can handle. Take rent as the first shock. A one-bedroom apartment in areas like Dubai Marina, JBR, or Business Bay used to cost between 60,000 and 70,000 dirhams in 2019. Today, that same unit ranges from 95,000 to 120,000. That's an increase of up to 70% in just 5 years. And it gets worse with space. 2-bedroom apartments have jumped from around 90,000 to more than 160,000 dirhams. Awa villas have become completely out of reach. A 3-bedroom home that once cost 120,000 now sits between 200,000 and 240,000. At the same time, salaries have barely moved. The average expat income has increased by roughly 12% over that same period. Many haven't seen any real raise at all. And this is where the equation breaks. A mid-level professional earning 15,000 dirhams a month used to spend around 30 to 40% on rent. Now that number has jumped to 55 or even 60%. More than half of their income just to keep a roof over their head. And that changes everything. Saving becomes impossible. Planning a future becomes unrealistic. Life turns into a monthly survival cycle. And rent is only the beginning. School fees have surged by around 25% in just 3 years. A single child in a decent international school now costs between 50,000 and 80,000 dirhams annually. For families with 2 or 3 children, that quickly rises to 150,000 or even 200,000 a year. Before food, before transport, before anything else. Groceries tell the same story. A weekly bill that used to be around 600 dirhams in 2020 now reaches close to 1,100 for the exact same items. Dining out, once a core part of Dubai's appeal, has doubled in cost. A casual dinner for two has gone from 200 to 400 dirhams. And anything beyond that quickly becomes a luxury. Utilities are up, tolls are up, parking is up. Health insurance premiums are rising by 10 to 15% every year. Every category is moving in the same direction, up. And when everything increases at once, there is no room left to adjust. The lifestyle that once defined Dubai is no longer accessible. What remains is pressure, constant financial pressure. And this is where the situation becomes impossible to ignore. Because it's not just prices rising, it's the entire job market weakening at the same time. Hiring across multiple sectors has slowed down sharply since late 2023, and it hasn't meaningfully recovered. Start with real estate, the sector that once powered Dubai's growth. After the post-pandemic boom between 2021 and early 2023, activity dropped hard. Transaction volumes declined, and agencies were forced to react. Layoffs hit fast. Between 30 to 50% of staff were cut in many firms. The agents who remained are now competing for far fewer deals. And the numbers show it clearly. My average commissions per agent have fallen from around 300,000 dirhams a year to less than 80,000. That kind of drop makes the Dubai lifestyle unsustainable. So many simply leave. Large developers reduced their workforce. Smaller agencies shut down completely. And the offices that remain feel empty. Desks unoccupied. Agents chasing leads that no longer convert. But it doesn't stop there. Tourism and hospitality are also under pressure. Hotel occupancy, which used to sit around 82% in early 2023, has steadily declined. By mid-2024, it dropped to 68%. And in 2025, it's approaching 63%. Fewer guests means fewer staff. Hotels are operating with minimal teams. Employees are overworked, underpaid, burnt out. Many are leaving the industry entirely. Retail tells a similar story. Now, physical stores have been struggling for years, but the recent period accelerated the decline. More empty storefronts appear in malls. Major brands that once dominated are gone. Smaller shops can't keep up with rising costs. Jobs that once supported the expat middle class are disappearing. Even in busy malls, something feels off. People are still there, but they are not spending. They walk, they browse, but they don't buy. Mid-market retail is collapsing. Only extreme luxury continues to survive. Construction remains active on the surface, driven by large government projects. But beneath that activity, there's a shift. The sector is no longer absorbing workers like it used to, and salaries are no longer competitive. But engineers who once earned 25,000 dirhams are now seeing offers closer to 12,000 or 15,000. In real terms, that's a major pay cut. As a result, many are moving elsewhere. Saudi Arabia, in particular, is attracting that talent. And then there's tech. The narrative of Dubai as a rising tech hub brought in thousands of professionals, but the reality didn't match expectations. Many arrived expecting high-paying roles. Instead, they found limited opportunities, or lower salaries than anticipated. A senior software engineer hoping for 35,000 dirhams a month may now see offers closer to 18,000, if they receive an offer at all. And when rent alone takes up most of that, the math stops working. Across every major sector, the pattern is the same. Fewer opportunities, lower income, eye on higher pressure. And for many, that combination is enough to walk away. And this is where the bigger picture becomes clear. This isn't just about rising costs or a temporary slowdown. It's about positioning. Dubai is no longer competing the way it used to. For years, it held a unique advantage. It offered a combination that was hard to match. Strong salaries, tax benefits, and a premium lifestyle. But that balance is breaking. Now, when professionals compare options, Dubai is no longer the obvious choice. Financial analysts with a decade of experience can earn more in places like Singapore or London. Teachers in international schools are finding better packages in Abu Dhabi or Qatar. Engineers and technical talent are being pulled towards Saudi Arabia, where large-scale projects are paying aggressively. And this is where things change. Dubai used to be the top destination in the region, the place everyone aimed for. Now, it's just one option among many, and often not the best one. This shift is triggering something deeper, a talent drain. Experienced professionals are leaving, and new talent is no longer as eager to arrive. Companies are starting to feel it. Hiring is harder. Retention is weaker, because the value proposition no longer holds. People are doing the math, And increasingly, the numbers don't justify staying. This creates a loop. As talent leaves, companies weaken. As companies weaken, opportunities shrink. And as opportunities shrink, even more people leave. A cycle that feeds itself. And right now, there's no clear sign that it's slowing down. And here's the part that hits people the hardest. Even for those who can still afford to stay, the experience of living in Dubai is no longer what it used to be. Day-to-day life has become exhausting. Start with traffic. What used to be a 20 or 30-minute drive has turned into an hour or more. Main roads like Sheikh Zayed Road are constantly congested. Rush hour is no longer a short window. It stretches across most of the day, and alternatives don't help much. The metro is overcrowded, packed to the point of discomfort, and it still doesn't reach many residential areas. So people are stuck in cars, in traffic, losing hours every single day, and this is where infrastructure starts to show its limits. The city expanded fast, but the systems supporting it haven't kept up. New communities continue to grow, but access points remain limited. Getting in and out of certain areas has become a daily struggle. And it's not just movement. Space itself is disappearing. Beaches are crowded. Parks fill up quickly. Malls are difficult to navigate, especially on weekends. Something that once felt open and comfortable now feels dense and overwhelming. That sense of ease is gone. At the same time, service quality is declining. Businesses are operating with fewer staff, which means longer wait times, more mistakes, less attention to detail. Whether it's a bank, a restaurant, or a service center, the experience feels noticeably worse. And there are early signs of strain elsewhere. Petty crime, while still relatively low, is becoming more visible. Small incidents that didn't used to happen are now being noticed, enough to change how people feel. The social side is also shifting. The expat community is becoming more temporary. People come and go quickly. It's harder to build real connections. And with rising costs, many are too busy working to maintain a social life. Even basic things like education are under pressure. Schools are more crowded, teacher turnover is higher, and parents are starting to question the quality they are paying for. Then there's the environment. Extreme heat dominates much of the year. Outdoor life becomes almost impossible for several months. Air quality on certain days reaches unhealthy levels. And finally, the lifestyle that once defined Dubai is slipping away. Beach clubs, events, entertainment are either too expensive or too crowded to enjoy. What used to feel like a premium life now feels restricted. And over time, that changes how people see the city, not as an opportunity, but as a constant source of pressure. And this leads to a difficult conclusion. Dubai is not ignoring what's happening. The data is there. The signals are clear, but the response tells a different story. Instead of focusing on affordability for the average resident, the strategy has shifted. The city is doubling down on attracting ultra-high net worth individuals, more luxury developments, more high-end investment opportunities, more focus on global capital, but less attention to the people who built the system day to day, and this is where the risk grows. Because when growth becomes exclusive, it stops being sustainable. Dubai was once defined by opportunity, a place where professionals could arrive, build a life, and move forward. Now, that promise is fading. What's emerging instead is a much narrower model, one that works for a small percentage at the top, and becomes increasingly difficult for everyone else. If you're thinking about moving to Dubai, there's one thing you need to do first: run the numbers. Because below a certain income level, the system simply doesn't work anymore. Roughly 25,000 to 30,000 dirhams a month for a single person, more than 45,000 for a family. Anything below that comes with real pressure. And if you're already there, feeling that pressure build, you're not alone. Ask me, thousands of others are reaching the same conclusion, quietly, individually, but in growing numbers. So the real question is this: is Dubai going through a temporary phase? Or is this the start of a much longer decline? Because if the current trajectory continues, the city won't collapse overnight, but it may slowly become something else entirely, something very different from the promise it once sold.